You want to know to the
Epic.
Patreon right quick? Hold on, let me finish the Patreon comment though. It's like, well, Mike, if you look at it, it's like, well, you're 4-1, but it's like you should have been the favorite 4 of those times. The one time I was the favorite, I won. Now, here's what I would tell you: this situation that we have going on Monday is what I would call our first draw situation because I think I got all the ancillary material, but I think you have the catalog material.
I
You feel
think you
me?
have the advantage with records like Cream, Incarcerated Scarfaces. I mean, it's gonna be very tough. I got a strategy, but I
No,
mean,
no.
I
See,
don't
that's
wanna.
that's like saying Just Blaze has an advantage because he has You Don't Know and PSA. You feel me? It's
But
like
that
no, having
doesn't
those
count
two
when you.
records doesn't determine the other.
That doesn't count when you talking about Havoc when you got Shook Ones Part Two or something. Like, come on.
Quiet Storm. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Understood. No, understood.
Jay Short with the super chat says, "What's Lil Jon's legacy in ATL?" I can speak for me, and maybe because I came up in a certain era. To me, Lil Jon's legacy is being a DJ, and the
Yeah.
A&R of So So Def, the guy who put together those So So Def Bass All Star projects.
My boo.
Yeah, and the Shawty Freak a little something and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like when he dropped Kings of Crump, he kind of belonged to everybody else. It was kind of a middle row. I remember, man, I was riding around with them when they dropped Kings of Crump. And see, I got a little story here. I didn't work at the record store. I was at the radio station, and they was doing promo. They was still local with it because they were on TBT. And yeah, we were riding around with Lil Jon and them the whole day. They went to Greenbrier Mall and was doing autographs and stuff. So we was up in there, and yeah, man, the album blew up. The album blew up really off of Get Low,
Yeah.
which wasn't even. I want to say at the time might have been the third or fourth single because I Don't Give a Fuck was the first one.
But crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I love that song to this day.
that's a great record. And I feel like
Yeah.
the song with Fat Joe and Trick Daddy might have been second.
It's
Play
crazy.
No Games.
Right.
Yeah, and then when Get Low came out, that's when the rest of the world got on, and then Dave Chappelle started doing the sketches and stuff, and then Lil Jon was out of here.
I mean, protect your neck and method. Look, protect your neck and Method Man had a New York buzz. Cream is when it started rising to the top, Mike.
It
They've been
happened
out for
so
6 months.
fast. It
Yeah.
happened so fast, and to kind of answer that question, I mean, if I already didn't, the local Lil Jon is kind of what his legacy is in the city because that's when we saw him the most. After Get Low and all that went, he was out of here. We didn't see Lil Jon. I didn't see Lil Jon anymore. I didn't.
What?
I didn't. I remember
What?
when they did that. You remember? I think it was MTV did that XXL cover of like Great Day in Harlem over, but MTV was like Great Day in Atlanta, and they had like all of the people that were popping in Atlanta at the time. Like,
What?
yeah, and somebody was like, "Where Lil Jon at?" And Ti was like, "He out here getting their money somewhere." Lil Jon was gone.
Okay.
He was out of here. 36 Shames with the super chat says, Your Old Drawers has released several high quality projects this year. Very consistent. Well, I guess we might need to do a whole segment on him on Wednesday. Mike H
I know.
says, Go ahead.
Man, I'm just
It's just so much music, man.
all right, so much music. I'm just gonna put
Mike H
in.
says, Can't believe Nas is about to add about 15 great to classic tracks to that catalog. Do you think this is it for Nas? And if so, what is Nas' next move, music wise? He seems to be doing a lot of things culturally and getting behind a lot of documentaries and this hip hop Hall of Fame or museum or whatnot. Do I think this is it for Nas and Hit Boy? I think so. For a second, we're not. I don't think we're gonna get something next year or something.
How about this? I think I would say hiatus. And
Yeah,
this is what I mean. Like, I don't think the people have to understand the power of the people. People often don't understand their power. I think we are going to have a lot to do with whether there is a KD4. You feel
I
me?
agree with that. I think if it's very successful and it gets the
Thank
attention and
you.
adoration that it needs to get, and this
Correct.
run gets that attention as well, yeah, we probably will get a KD4.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's what I will tell you that I'm fairly certain of. Well, we're probably not getting a KD4 in 2023 because if this album is successful like it needs to be, it's going to burn in the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So there's not going to be a need for KD4 next year, but the people have to understand their power and necessitate the need for this pretty glorious run to continue.
What we're not talking about is the possibility of a Magic 2. How about that?
No. Source talk again, Mike. That won't be happening.
No. It's a one-time deal, huh?
He literally made an album for the fans that said they wanted to hear some Illmatic type shit, and then they did some Illmatic shit and did not fucking Ready to Die in Doggy Style, this motherfucker. And that's where we are.
Solution,
end of story.
solution.
This is how we got it was written. Like part of what happened with Magic when I talked to the source is what got me hyped about KD3. I was like, it's the Illmatic shit again. But we got it was written after Illmatic.
That's facts. Solution says, I am planning a show on KD3 on the 15th. Please, can I quote you guys? Sure. What kind of show?
Hold on. It's better than people just stealing our shit like they've been doing the last 2 years. That's for sure. At least you're asking. We appreciate that.
Solution.
Who run Apple Music, Mike? Who run Apple Music?
Ebro, I thought Ebro was...
Okay, so now that we've gotten to the bottom of this, I believe that Till It's Almost Dry, Apple Music released a separated version literally a few days after I said that they need to separate the producer's version. And so he would be the person that would run through. I would like to think, especially a artist the caliber of Pusha T.
I kind of believe, I could be wrong. I believe that Ebro and Rosenberg listens to our show. Either one of the two. I don't know.
I believe,
or somebody in their circle.
No, he owes me. I'm not even being funny. I don't care like how many of your favorite rappers like him. Don't be pulling up in here stealing my shit, Ebro. Like for real. Like next time, get your own fucking ideas and do the work. That's how you got there. Because if you just gonna take my shit, maybe I need to be running Apple Music's playlist. Stop stealing my shit. Let's go, Mike.
Yo, I was gonna say, man, they've been.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, Mike.
They've been interviewing. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but DaBaby has been getting interviews on Hot 97 now, and he was on Flex Show freestyling, and I truly feel like. Since Ye is going through all of these blackballing things publicly, I think that they want to make a gesture on a mainstream level to kind of unblackball DaBaby and welcome him everywhere. I thought the timing was weird. I did. So now y'all want to bring DaBaby on for an interview when his album came out, what was that, 3 weeks ago? So you're telling me that his people didn't reach out to you guys for an interview when his album was about to come out. So magically he's able to do interviews 3 or 4 weeks after the album came out. It's very weird.
People think we be tripping.
Very weird. Mad Max is
People think we be tripping. You know that, Mike. People think be like, yo, they going like,
I mean,
y'all going too far. It's like, no, it's very convenient how it's happening, though.
Whether people agree with Ye or not, whatever, that's something else. But to see how he's been done this past 2 weeks lets you know that this stuff is real. If you didn't believe then, you should believe now. And if you don't believe now, you're just in denial.
Or you're just stuck in your personal feelings about the man.
Well, yeah.
The unfolding of this is going to be the unfolding and revealing of this is not done.
No, we're not still evolving. Yeah.
Oh, right. This is one of those moments that we're not even going to realize how big it is until it's like 5 to 10 years later. And like, yo, like, did you see that, right?
I guess my thing is, man, what do people think is going to happen? They think Ye is going to be out on the streets. Begging for change. They want to see Ye in the airport somewhere playing a flute, looking crazy, huh? Maybe that'd be admirable. It's not gonna happen. Mad Max with the super chat says, I heard the Gorilla Lion Hyena record, and Coop, I'm gonna need you to admit Mace is a better lyricist than Cam, cause he got the better verse.
I won't do it. Cameron's made albums.
I can't do that either, Mad Max. I
Plural.
can't do that.
We don't know because even on what Harlem World, even on
Harlem
Harlem
World
World,
turns
it's not like makes
25
it
today,
some,
by the way.
like his bar repertoire isn't like some sort of stellar masterpiece that we go back and reference on Harlem World. You feel me?
No, you're right. And it was the hottest album of that quarter, I would say. The hottest album of that year was either Life After Death or Puffy's album.
Life After Death.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's the best, but we can't front, man. Puffy's album was big.
Because of Big.
It was big, though. It was big.
Because of Big.
You had to be there to understand.
Hold on, the hook on Been Around the World is who?
That's Biggie, yeah.
Who ends All About the Benjamins?
Biggie. I feel you. I feel you. I'm not saying I feel you. I'm not saying who the MVP of the year was. That's clearly Biggie. But if we talk about which album,
I'm wearing a Biggie shirt, Mike. You're not about to do that today.
No Way Out was a big ass album, and maybe
not about to do that.
And maybe it's unfair to Biggie to say that because Biggie wasn't here to actually reap the adulation of Life After Death in the way that Puff was. Puff was everywhere in '97. The people who were the face of hip hop in '97 was Puff, Mace, Wyclef, and Master P. It's what it was.
Big died on March 9th.
No, I feel you. If Big was alive, he obviously would have been everywhere too. But I'm just saying.
He was everywhere.
Yeah. But I'm saying for the whole year. He died the first 3 months of the year.
I won't talk like that with my Biggie shirt.
I feel you. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Coop, why you left out Life in the Fast Lane face at this best in at his best and Scarface the song that gave him his name. Those were points. Yeah. But you don't like Mr. Scarface is Back like that.
What, the album?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here was the thing. I had to make a choice about the Mr. Scarface is Back stuff. I feel like playing those records is like setting you up to play more America's Most in NWA, which are better records. You feel me?
Gotcha.
Because it's like, think about it. Like, well, Cube's best stuff is actually made right in that pocket of that album. And I was like, well, if he plays the Cube records from around that time and I start playing these records, he's got better records. Because you didn't play some America's Most Cube records that you could have played.
I didn't.
You and I know that.
I didn't.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what
I didn't play Who's the Man.
My whole thought process was like, I already know I'm dealing with Death Certificate. I already know I'm dealing with Straight Outta Compton. Me playing those early Scarface stuff, it's like, well, how much of America's Most do I want to deal with too? Because I already knew I was getting the Straight Outta Compton and Death Certificate stuff. Like, I already knew that.
I have no idea what I'm gonna open with Ghostface. I have an idea what I want to close with.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I can't even lie. You want to know what? I got some first world problems with Ray because I need to pick the stuff that really stuck with the bulk of the people and not just the stuff that I like. Like, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some insight into something. It's like, I love Sneakers by Pete Rock on Immobilarity. Nobody ever talks about the record.
No, nobody talks about that record. Immobilarity.
You feel what I'm saying? It's one of Ray's best songs, and I'm like, nobody ever talks about Sneakers. It's like, is that the head in me that just loves the fact that Ray and like who's a fashion dude and Pete Rock, who's like a hardcore hip hop dude, like and Ray's like, got that voice. It's like, am I just too in love with that parent and in love with that song, or is that song really that? Those are the struggles that I'm having. You feel what I'm saying?
Immobilarity gets the Dogfather treatment.
It does.
And
people act like nothing on there was good at all. I mean, people act like nothing on there was good at all. Live from New York is on there. Sneakers is on there.
It's because the albums before them are just so grand. Greatest albums. I mean, I would have to say Doggy Style and then Dogfather, that's the biggest drop off from one album to the next. Then I would say Only Built for Cuban Links and Immobilarity.
But this is the thing about it. You do understand you just named, in my opinion, 2 of the 5 greatest rap albums.
Well, that's what makes the drop so big.
2 of the greatest 5 rap albums ever made. What type, like, there's going to, like, Mike, there's a drop from Illmatic to It Was Written.
But it ain't that drastic.
Oh, no, it's It Was Written. It Was Written's a classic.
That's what I'm saying. So usually,
classic.
Usually when a person makes something that's that high level, the next one's gonna be a drop off, but not that far off. Like I think that a lot of people would say that the Dogfather is probably the biggest sophomore jinx in hip hop.
Kane's second album.
Nah, nah.
No, it's a Dogfather. You're right.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, rank these songs from best to worst: Shootouts, Live Nigga Rap, Taken in Blood, Suspect, and Silent Murder.
Hold on, say that
I have to be honest.
Where's that super chat? Where's that super chat at? I'm gonna have to look at those songs.
Michael Williams is probably up. I'm behind. It's Shootouts, Live Nigga Rap, Taken in Blood, Suspect, and Silent Murder.
Okay.
He said he has Taken in Blood number 1, but after that he struggles.
So I'll tell you this, and Mike and I have had this conversation. Well, it's between Taken in Blood and Silent Murder, first of all.
Yeah, it's Silent Murder for me.
It's Taken in Blood for me because of the third verse.
Okay.
I feel like the third verse on Taken in Blood is superior to the third verse on Silent Murder. After that, I'm going Silent Murder. After that, I'm going Live Nigga Rap. After that, I'm going Shootouts. After that, I'm going Suspect. So I would go Taken in Blood, Silent Murder, Live Nigga Rap, Shootouts, and Suspect. I think Suspect is the weakest song on It Was Written after Watch Them Niggas, Black Girl Lost, and Nas Is Coming. Like, Suspect would be that song. That's how great It Was Written is. That's a bottom 4 song.
Okay, yeah.
Suspect's one of the weaker songs on It Was Written.
I got Silent Murder, Live Nigga Rap, Taken in Blood, Shootouts, and Suspect. That's what.
Can I ask you something? Why don't you? What is it? You don't revere Taken in Blood like other people do. What is it? You don't love the beat. It's the beat. You don't love the beat. Just say it.
Yeah, I think it's the beat for me.
You don't love the beat because I mean, Mike, lyrically on that album, like
you guys hold Taken in Blood super high.
Mike has a lyricist on a lyrical level. This is what I'm saying. People keep forgetting this. I Gave You Power is a concept record. Rewind is a concept record. Mike, just the MC. The lyrical bar work on Taken in Blood might be his finest mic performance, just like as a lyricist, like with no concept being involved.
Right.
Like, it's like that. Those 3 verses are as good of a 3 lyrical rap verse that you'll find period, point blank, like in the history of rap in concurrence.
And you know what I say that 96 Nas is probably the greatest, just pure lyricist outside of just his catalog and everything else.
The pure lyricism that you're talking about,
yeah.
like Taken in Blood is the best evidence. Like people keep forgetting, like It Was Written is full of concepts, shootouts, the setup, the message, watch them niggas, I Gave You Power. But the few times he just rap Mike on some rap shit, which is what Taken in Blood is, it's just like, oh well, fuck, that's the best just like rap you gonna find. Like lyrically speaking, I never brag how real I keep it, because it's the best secret. I rock a vest, prestigious, Cuban link flooded Jesus. In the Lex watching Kathy Lee and Regis. My actions are one with the season. A text squeezing, executioner. Wintertime I rock a fur, mega popular. Center of attraction, climaxing. My bitches, they be laughing. Like how sniffing coke off of 20 shit. Andrew Jackson. City night, sparkling New York night. Rossi and Martini sipping. Sergio to shit. He's just rapping his ass off, Mike. He's just rapping. It's masterful. It's like, oh, this nigga just raps like this?
Easy. Darren Harris with the super chat says, Nas is becoming the Martin Scorsese of hip-hop docs. I really love that Supreme documentary too. And I know a lot of y'all were telling us to check it out for weeks and weeks. And I finally kind of got around to it. I loved it. I think they did a great job. I know 50 Cent was speaking on, that documentary. And I guess that's when he was talking about his respect for Nas. And he feels like his whole interest in the subject was, I guess from a faith-based level. And saying all that to say, sounds like he doesn't feel a way about Nas doing it. He didn't feel like it was a shot at him. But thing is, man, like, that's Queen's history, and it's like, whatever conflict that a person has over here, it's not like you can't tell a person's story. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, where would the actual conflict reside? You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
Jason with the super chat says, what is that one hip hop album for both of y'all that you put on in front to back You feel that music like no other. For me, it's Dark and Hell is Hot. I played this album that I'm about to say the other day, and I don't want to say something easy, but I didn't realize, well, I've always realized how much this album means to me, but I start pulling out how much it really means to me. I love Method Man and Redman's Blackout album. That album really taught me how to rhyme, and it was just about rhyming. It wasn't about any subject matter. It was the chemistry that these two guys had together, going back and forth. I will always know every single word from that album, and I named that album because that's one of those albums that nobody around me felt like that about. It's like, so I'm like really alone in this one, and even in the duo I was in, it made me think. I was like, this is what actually made me have the idea to jump in a duo, the way these guys were able to bounce off of each other. I love Blackout. Front to back for me, man. If I put that joint on right now, I'm not skipping anything. But that's just me.
That's fascinating. I have two choices, and I think it's just like impact. I told you the first rap album that I ever heard from beginning to end was The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick.
Yeah.
So I'm super fortunate in that regard. You feel what I'm saying? Like when that's one of the first rap albums that you get to listen to from beginning to end, you're fortunate. Like that's one of those things I didn't understand the first time I hold the record, but now at 41 years old, it's like, oh, cuz like the dude who made these paintings, Six's older brother, like him playing that album. So that's probably the album that I feel like no other because it's the first one that I heard from beginning to end. So every time I hear it, I'm with my two older cousins riding around in Lithonia in the Bronco. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm there every time those songs come on when cuz is going to pick up his check from the pizza spot, you know? But on a personal level, on some rap shit, Mike, like on what you talking about, oh, it's Liquid Swords by The Genius. It's Liquid Swords for me.
I think Blackout hit me at the perfect time. Like this was like my senior year, you know what I mean? Like it's those things really matter when an album comes out in your life and where you're at in your life and what you're going through. And I also think that the fact that How High, the actual song that came out years before it, that song changed me too. And I think from that moment, I was just looking forward to the time when they would actually do an album together. I personally believe, just from a technical standpoint, if Redman and Method Man would have dropped an album in '96, it would have been a much better album. But even with that being said, I love Blackout. And listen, and I remember when I heard it first, I was like, man, they don't sound like '96 Meth and Red, but I still like this. But now I don't even care about that.
No, I feel you. Part of the thing with Liquid Swords, I'm gonna tell you what happened. The first two tapes, Mike, the first two tapes that I bought with my own money were Liquid Swords and Do or Die by AZ.
Very lyrical purchases.
No, my taste has always been impeccable, Mike. But and as great as Do or Die is, and Do or Die is a classic, it's not Liquid Swords. And I can remember, and you have to understand, Liquid Swords was that first tape that I had access to that I could play it at my will. Like I didn't have to go borrow my cousin's tapes, steal my cousin's tapes, sneak in their rooms, ask them if I could hold their shit. That was my tape. But Mike, the soundscapes on there, the way that he was rhyming, I heard the writer that I could be on that album. Like when he was picture blood baths and elevator shafts, when he was saying stuff like that. Herbal vapors and biblical paper, smoking exodus. When he was saying stuff like that, I was like, that's the writer in hip hop that I want to be. And then there was just the stuff that just blew your mind. Like, you remember the first time you heard the Beats to Fourth Chamber in Shadowbox and Killer Hills 10304, like in succession. When I heard those three beats in succession, like Killer Hills 10304 is the greatest rap story ever that nobody talks about.
Shadowboxing blew my mind. That was one of those.
Shadowboxing might be, Mike, you want to know what? When we have these greatest beats ever conversation, that beat's in the conversation.
Yeah. You remember when Napster first jumped off and me and my friends, man, what we used to try to do, we used to try to find instrumentals to download. Shadowboxing was on that list. It was Shadowboxing, Incarcerated Scarfaces, Cream, Damn, it was a whole bunch of
Mike, Living
Wu-Tang.
in the World Today is one of those beats to
Shook
me.
ones.
Mike,
Yeah.
I heard Living in the World Today on mixtapes. Other cats were taking that beat. Living in the World Today, that's one of my favorite rap songs, Mike.
Hell
That
on
shit,
Earth.
where the shit that Jizza and Meth is doing on the hook, that's that corner shit, Mike, where they just doing the back and forth. Well, what you know about MC? And yo, I know a lot. Well, can you tell me straight something, nigga? I'd rather not. You talking about stacks, because nigga, that's what I got. Well, cash rules the world and cash rules the spot. My preliminary attack with cemeteries packed. But niggas who think it ain't like that. It's like, oh, that's how you coming in on the second verse?
That's how you rhyme. Unknown name with the super chat says, don't skip Ray's last album, The Wild. Bunch of hidden jewels on there. The Wild was dope.
Mike loves The Wild more than I do, actually. You like The Wild more than I do. Mm-hmm.
Man, Ray got a whole bunch of shit to play, man. I'm really frightened with this
one. No, it's Ghost, so I'm not going to be playing anything from The Wild. I won't win. Nothing against The Wild. I'm trying to win.
Jay Short says, any regard for the 12 Reasons to Die project?
What? The Ghost joint?
Mm-hmm. I like those, actually.
I like those. I like Killer Seasons. And
I did like, 36 Seasons?
Yeah, 36 Seasons. Yeah.
You know what?
That's one of the last CDs I bought, Mike.
Those albums flow well together, but stand out songs that I would be able to play, it would be kind of tricky. 36 Chambers says, Blackout is nice. Whole album. Good start to finish. I mean, this is the thing about Blackout. You kind of got to be a rhymer or appreciator of rhyming to love it. Everybody loves the Rockwilder on that album. That's the only song I skip on that album. I'm listening to that album for the chemistry that Meth and Red have. Like, Meth comes in on 1212 like, my lyrics is AWOL, batter up, play ball, fuck y'all analog niggas, we be digital, subliminal command from the 5-star general, attacking from the blind side. And then Red comes in there, invisible, to the naked eye, we the criminals, better have your 8 essential vitamins and minerals when Wu was coming through, you know the outcome. Critical, conditioning the physical for injuring the officer and gentleman who stack proper Benjamins. They rapping like this the whole album. It's like a tutorial or something.
I will tell you this. And you're right. How about this? For me, and I don't know how you feel about like collaboration but for me, like as far as collaborations goes, there's Life's a Bitch and How High, and then there's the rest of the collaborations.
How High is crazy, man.
That's what I'm saying. How High is Life's a Bitch level to me. So I feel you on that. And people have to understand.
How High was 95. I think I said 96. I'm at 95.
They were, but both of you, you had never heard two guys of that caliber outside from different camps come together and make a record like that.
It sound like they're supposed to be together.
It sounded like they were the group. It's like, okay, so he's not in Def Squad and he's not in Wu-Tang anymore. Yeah. Is this what's going on? It's like, what's going on? It's like, because after you heard How High, it's like, I want an album of that.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And it was so effortless, man. I don't know, man. It's
they just played off each other so well.
They do. And I think people who don't know any better, they would think that these guys started together or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the chemistry that they had.
To the same label.
And the fact that their names are Method Man and Redman for two totally different reasons. Like it just happened like that. Like they didn't plan this.
Mike,
they found
we were
each
talking
other.
About the KD release date, and I tell you that some things, when I said it was written, and I'm not talking about the album, like some things are supposed to happen because it was written. Redman and Method Man, Def Jam, How High. It was written, Mike.
It's supposed to happen that way.
It's supposed to happen. Yeah. Some things are supposed to happen. Redman and Method Man finding their way to Def Jam and finding their way to kick off the show soundtrack. No, that's supposed to happen.
That's literally the first song they made together, right?
Yes.
Impeccable
first time in the studio
chemistry.
Together.
Off top,
off top.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, because even with the Life's a Bitch thing, that's a different thing because it's like two dope MCs on a track that fits both of them. This How High thing is like these guys are making this together and the chemistry is undeniable and they never made a record together. It's insane.
It's insane. It's one of rap's best songs.
Chemistry wise. And I think that once again, when I look at the magic of Method Man and Redman, it's the chemistry that they have and still being able to be outstanding individual MCs. Like, we already know that they're stellar solo MCs, but the chemistry that they're able to have when they come together, I hate to say it like this, and I know the Dumb and Down's going to think I'm, picking a fight, but those are the things that we wished for Black Star, because we knew how individually great they were. We never really saw, we see stints of their chemistry, and I'm not going to knock them for that, because I don't even, on the mic, I don't think there's many people that have the chemistry that people like Redman and Method Man or Ghost and Ray or Styles and Jada have. That's just different.
I mean, he just went 1, 2, 3, Mike.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, those guys, and even Run DMC, like, the level of chemistry that the two MCs have in a duo like that, like, a lot of duos, and no knock to it, they're kind of just taking turns on the mic. They're waiting on their turn on the mic. Outkast's chemistry is a chemistry of adjustments to each other's taste. But when it comes to the back and forth, we didn't get a lot of that with Cass. We just didn't. 36 Chambers says Enter the Wu-Tang has no skips front to back. I'm not going to argue with you on that. Mad Max says, a song I love that nobody talks about, and I feel for you by AZ. Beat and the lyrics.
Track 6 on Do or Die.
Yeah. Beat and the lyrics to me is classic. And his serene intro is stupid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do or Die is a classic. Like, Do or Die doesn't have a skip, Mike.
Yeah.
Like, Give Me Yours, Ho Happy Jackie, Rather Unique, Uncut Raw, Sugar Hill.
I was listening to Sugar Hill the other day. It just randomly came on. I'm like, this is a great song.
It is.
From top to bottom. Lyrically, like the beat, the hook. It's a beautiful song. It's great.
I want a villa in the Costa Rica so I can smoke my reefer and enjoy how life's supposed to treat you. Laid in the shades of the Everglades, finally forever paid. Wearing the hellest fabrics designers ever made. Me and my team, Caribbean cuisine, I guess being down for so long. I'm going to see my dream. You know what I mean? Yeah, that shit is epic, Mike. And then the song after it is More Money, More Murder, More Homicide with Nas. And the record after that is the record Do or Die. Your World Don't Stop. We Can't Win. No, that album's a classic, Mike. It's a classic.
Jay Short says Blackout was the last boom bap classic. Interesting. I never really viewed it as a boom bap classic, but hey.
I never viewed it as a classic, but that's fascinating.
Me either. and I love that album. It's a personal
classic. I never viewed it as a classic, but when you put it in that regard, I do understand fundamentally some of what he's saying. You know what my joint on there was, Mike? Run for Cover.
I love Run for Cover. Yeah, and they were getting off on that one too.
What's his name? Street Life? Was that was Street Life, right?
Street Life, yep. Cynical, Lyrical, rap individual. On my deathbed, I spit sick flows. It's critical. I'm not a fan of this. I'm a Mike Vandalist. Thug Therapist. My Clan's too original. I think one of the knocks early on when the album came out was RZA didn't do enough production on there.
I can see that.
But like I said, I don't care about that. I actually really love how Meth and Red rhyme with each other over Eric Sermon beats. And I wasn't even that big on the style of production that Eric was doing in that time period. But you're right. Run for Cover, RZA produced that, and he did Serial Killer. So it's a whole different vibe.
It is. But here's what I'll tell you. I've been doing a little Eric Sermon dig lately. His stuff's holding up pretty well.
Oh, yeah, it is. No, Eric Sermon's an incredible producer. I'm just saying at the time, and looking back on it, I appreciate that production a lot more. It wasn't as flashy as like some of the other, well-known producers at that time. I used to be like, man, why is Redman and Method Man always using all these Eric Sermon beats?
I can't front. I was the same way.
Man there with the super chat says, Redman featuring Method Man, Do What You Feel is forever as a 4-verse classic. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think actually that's their next best song together after How High,
really?
in my opinion.
I'm the super lyrical individual. I be spitting through that Teflon material.
Mhm.
Take a bit off a schedule.
Like, think about Meth's verse on there, and then the fact how Red came back. It's like, ugh.
Who wanna flip with the acrobatic? To Cal. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's 96 them. Imagine if they did an album together in 96.
That's hold on. So
That's what I'm saying.
that album, like if they, I'm not gonna lie, like right after Muddy Waters, they should have done it right then.
Yeah.
That was gonna be one of the best rap albums ever.
CJ Kid with the super chat says Red and Meth versus Array and Ghost. Who wins?
Ray and Ghost.
Huh. I don't know, guys. I don't know, man. When Method Man and Redman did their verses, that was actually my favorite verses. I guess personal favorite. But they had so many records, man. Like between the two of them, they're on some really big records. I mean, they got their own records too, but they're in these big crews. They got great records too. I don't know. I guess it depends on the direction.
Right.
You want to talk about this Kodak Black, or do you want to go ahead and just rate this West Side Gun real quick?
Let's finish rating this West Side. We're gonna do a quick shout out for a sponsor, and then we can go to
definitely. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this is always the tough thing about rating the West Side album.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said that you probably enjoyed the Liz 2 and the Rome Streets more. Well, that's how you feel, Mike. That might not be a fact.
Yeah. They might not be better albums. I mean, just like what we're talking about this Blackout thing.
When I'm telling you, like this, I want to ask you something realistically.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me the songs on the Rome Streets, with the exception of Blow for Blow.
I was gonna go there.
No, with the exception of Blow for Blow on Rome Streets,
mm-hmm.
and on the Liz too. You tell me the records that you're really about to play more than Super Kick Party, or Peppers, or BDP, or Science Class, or Mac Don't Stop.
I ain't gonna lie,
tell
bro.
me the record that you're really about to play more than those on those two albums, respectfully.
I don't know, bro. That Soulja Boy record is hard on Rome Streets.
The Soulja Boy record's pretty tough.
Yeah,
how about this? Do you think the Soulja Boy record is better than BDP? Because I don't.
I think it could be. I don't know. I'm gonna have to listen to both.
So here's what I tell you: the Soulja Boy record is the second best record on there. BDP might be the fourth or fifth best record on here. You feel me?
You think it is?
Yeah, I mean, Peppers, Science Class, Mac Don't Stop, I think are better. Super Kick Party might be better too.
No, you think Soulja Boy is the second best record on Rome Streets album, Kiss the Ring?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, man. Rome Streets got some hard songs on here. But see,
I think
the thing
you just
is,
like that aesthetic, Mike. Because here's what I tell you: how are those songs really holding?
I think it's a personal favorite, probably.
See, that's what I mean. Like objectively speaking, this is. How about this? I feel like he did kind of what the Rome Streets Project did, but these songs are more album songs, not mixtape songs.
Right. And again, I got to give Rome Streets props for getting on the mic and holding these records down himself too. I think that with the
Rome
West Side,
snapped on here too.
He did. I think with the West Side projects, when you got all of those greats on there, of course these songs are gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so how about this? Well, let's look at it like this then.
If Blow for Blow is on this album, is it the best song on the album?
No, because it's not better than Science Class, in my opinion.
I think it is. But
I don't agree.
Y'all.
You don't really have any evidence, like that's what I'm saying. Like there are too many. How about this? What's going on for Blow is special. Like the record's just special. There's a few special things going on Science Class. Like you're getting some fundamental rap lessons too. Like think about this. First of all, you got Busta and Ray on the stop and go pause. You know what I'm saying? Like in between the beat. And then you got Ghost. And then you got Stove and West doing the Ray and Ghost back and forth after Ray and Ghost get done rapping. No, I'm taking that over Blow for Blow. I'm sorry. I just
over the Magic and Cookie line?
No, that's what I mean about moments. Like I told you, the best punchlines this year might be on Blow for Blow. That Stove with the cookie still good on Magic Johnson line, and then the way Benny ends it. You know, if you're looking for a stable plan, I suggest you stand next to the God like Abraham. No, that's high level stuff. The whole thing from beginning to end, though. Like, it's a worthy conversation, but blow for blow isn't enough to hold up a whole album either, Mike. Part of the problem with blow for blow, it's clearly the best song on the album. How about this? When there's a song that clearly stands out over the other songs on an album, I usually pick the album that's more steady and sturdy. That's my personal aesthetic. And so what I would tell you is that, like you told me, well, not all ratings are built out the same. We gave the Armani a 4.5, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We gave the Rome a 4.4.
This is in that neighborhood. It's
correct.
We might need to come down on the list too a little bit, maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And this is
I was actually thinking all of these albums might be closer to 4.4s.
Okay.
For different reasons, though.
You're saying Westside 4.4 or 4.5?
4.4.
Okay.
Like, because I can't tell you definitively that it's like better than the Liz 2 or better than the Rome Streets. I just feel like these songs are going to have like more of a vibe and more legs. They feel more full and fleshed out. And that's not to knock what's going on with the Rome. Like, it's just when Westside puts it together, it's just different, Mike. Like, think about Peppers. Like, think about that.
No, you're right. When he's involved, there's a difference. It's kind of like, you know, what we talk about with Travis. Like, when Travis Scott's involved, a song is different.
Like, how about this?
The sonics and everything.
No, listen, here's what I'll tell you. I can tell that Westside had a hand in the Liz 2, the Rome Streets, and obviously this project because they sound superior to the Benny and the Conway. Like, you can tell Benny and Conway put their projects together without Westside, because truthfully, if we were ranking the Griselda projects this year, I think it would probably go like Westside, Armani, Rome, Benny, Conway, like in terms of the project. And that's not counting the Shay album. That's what I mean. They out here working, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And Love the Genius dropped, you know what I'm saying? I know that's drum work, but that's a Griselda, you know, offshoot, obviously, because that's Conway's label. But yeah, I'm cool with the 4.4. I really want to listen to all three again. That's what I mean. Like, we're in review season, you know what I'm saying, officially. And that's why I was like, let's do the Underground Wednesday. Let's start running back through these projects, seeing what's what, and start organizing our end of year list. Because truthfully, since people like Jay-Z better not drop no damn album on Christmas Eve, Mike. I'm not reworking shit like he did last year for Nas. And I'm going to look like a hater for Jay-Z better not drop a project.
Hey, Jay, drop an album on December 24th. That'll be
right.
dope.
Don't do that, because we had a whole yearbook and we had our whole lives situated and worked out before I left town. And here he come with Magic, and we getting steamrolled while I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. So, well, why ain't y'all going live talking about Magic? Ain't nobody talking about Magic. I thought y'all was for the people. I'm like, nigga, I'm at work. I'm not even in town. Like, I don't know what.
I didn't even know this was happening. Reggie with the super chat says, Coop, out of the Def Squad, why didn't Keith Murray pop more than he did? Whenever I play the most, still have to run it back more than once.
He went to prison, and it messed up like his chances and his opportunity, and the game wasn't the same when he came back out.
Yo, Keith Murray has one of my favorite opening lines. Like, you know, he has a lot of them. But when he came out in the most beautiful thing, when he was like, y'all astronomical niggas is comical. He was like, y'all mythological niggas is comical. My astronomical was like coming through like the flu bombing you. It was like, that was the first time I'd ever really heard him, though. I heard him on the Redman record, but when he came through with that, I was like, yo, y'all mythological niggas is comical. My astronomical was coming through like the flu bombing you. Most beautiful thing.
You're making me want to pull up. You want to know what? There's a Def Squad posse cut on there on Keith Murray's first album.
Yo, man, the most beautifulest thing in this world is a great record. Great record.
Get Lifted is on there. Mm-hmm. How's that with Eric Sermon and Redman?
Yep.
Yeah.
36 Chambers says, Never heard someone say that Meth and Red versus was their favorite. I thought it was the best one too. Chemistry was crazy. Yeah, it's like their chemistry supersedes everything. Like I
Well,
don't
the
even be
chemistry
caring
is
about the
undeniable.
production. I don't even be caring about their production. Like I don't care who's producing their stuff. Born King with the super chat says two of America's most wanted is fire. Yeah, that's a dope record with two guys
Oh,
coming
that's
together
up
that's
there.
never
No,
worked
that's up
together.
there. That's up there. How about this? I like America, two of America's Most Wanted more than I like Brooklyn's Finest.
I do too.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think with Brooklyn's Finest, man, it's just the beat for me. You know what I mean? I think that it's not one of the stronger beats on Reasonable Doubt, in my opinion. Jay Short says,